They didn't soft launch, they detonated. Zara McDermott and Lewis Tomlinson just dropped a full-on kiss pic, and the internet lost its damn mind, with fans screaming "Love Triangle" and exes getting dragged into the blast radius. Here's the tea you came for. The photo wasn't a blurry pap snap. It was a clean, PDA-packed selfie that Zara herself posted, hard launching the relationship and pouring gasoline on months of whispers. Big outlets picked it up within minutes, and the fandom split like a fault line. One camp is shipping it with hard eyes. The other is sharpening pitchforks and tagging the ex. Buckle up, because the receipts are flying. The timelines are messy, and the stakes are way bigger than a cute holiday snap. Let's start with the moment that set this fire off. Zara posts the picture. He's smiling, sunglasses on, she's kissing him, hand on his cheek. No captions, just a red heart. Simple, surgical, and loud. It's not a rumor anymore, it's confirmation. And in a media world where everyone plays coy, this was bold. The fans who've been connecting dots for months felt like the detectives who finally cracked the case. But don't act shocked like you didn't see this coming. The trail started months back. Shared locations on the same night. A quiet Malibu sighting. A soft shadow of a tattoo that eagle-eyed fans recognized in seconds. It wasn't subtle, it was breadcrumb after breadcrumb. And when the official photo hit, it wasn't the start of a story. It was the exclamation point at the end of Act 1. Now why is everyone yelling triangle? 2 words. The ex. Zara's long-term relationship ended late last year, and since then, fans have kept one eye on her posts and one eye on his reactions. Every podcast quip, every red carpet smirk, every not-so-cryptic comment got thrown into a blender and labeled subtweet. Add Lewis to that mix, and you've got a pop star-sized accelerant. The power dynamics shift, the narratives shift, and suddenly every glance becomes courtroom evidence in the trial of public opinion. Here's where the drama spikes. Some fans claim this kiss is a shot across the bow. They say Zara's saying, "I'm done hiding. I'm done with the whispers." They see a woman who rebuilt her brand with real work, real advocacy, and real receipts, now choosing to live out loud. And honestly, that's the hero move. Glow up, level up, no apology. But there's another camp. The jealous ex-energy crowd. They're seeding comments about timing, about clout, about whether this is a PR play. They're tagging the ex in every thread like he's a defense lawyer. They're stirring a pot that doesn't belong to them, because chaos is a drug and TikTok is the dealer. Still, the algorithm loves conflict, and conflict is what they're feeding it. Let's zoom out. Lewis is not a background character in anyone's life. He's a global figure with a fan base that can spin a hurricane out of a light breeze. Pair him with a British TV star who went from reality fame to serious documentaries and heavy social topics, and you've got a pairing that breaks across audiences. Pop meets policy. Fandom meets activism. It's not just cute, it's combustible. And yes, people are bringing up history. They're asking who met whose family first. They're pulling old timelines with previous relationships and lining them up like suspects on a wall. There's the long on-off romance that defined an era, the co-parenting responsibilities that will always come first, and the fact that this is the first time in a while fans have seen Louis look openly happy in a partner post. All of that turns one kiss into a cultural moment. Let's talk about Zara for a second, because this is where the hero framing matters. She could have played this coy for months. She could have buried the romance under "sources say" and ran it through the gossip mill until it turned sour. Instead, she posted it herself. That's agency. That's control. She's not letting anybody else write this headline. Love it or hate it, she owned the reveal. Meanwhile, the villain in our story isn't one person. It's a pattern. It's the jealous ex narrative people weaponize whenever a woman moves on. It's the opportunistic commenters who push bait to farm rage clicks. It's the fake insider voice note that magically appears right when engagement dips. That is the machinery that eats dignity and spits out views. And the smartest play is to starve the machine. But let's get real. You want the receipts? Fine. The kiss is public. The likes are public. The comments are public. The earlier Malibu goodbye kiss, photographed, the overlapping concert posts, archived by fans who screenshot like it's their full-time job. This is not guesswork. This is a breadcrumb trail with neon arrows. Now, how did the ex take it? Publicly, it's cool guy stoicism and focus on the grind energy. That's the official line. Off-platform, fans read into every micro-expression, every moment his co-host nudges him for a reaction, every carefully worded statement about new chapters. Is it shade? Is it maturity? Depends on which clip lands on your For You page. Here's where it gets even spicier. The alleged Peace Summit theory. Some fan pages claim there's talk of a sit-down to cut the awkwardness for mutual friends, industry events, maybe even a charity match where cameras will be rolling. Is that confirmed? Number, is it plausible in this tidy British media ecosystem where everyone knows everyone? Absolutely. And if it happens, watch the engagement graph go vertical, mid-video twist time, because you deserve it. The night the kiss went up, a microwave of old clips started trending again, a playful sideline snub that fans swear was a message, a background laugh that someone decided was a dig, and the classic, oops, same hotel lobby montage. Here's the truth. People see what they want to see. In messy moments, confirmation bias is king. But this much is clear, both sides knew the speculation would explode the second that photo hit, and they pressed post anyway. That is a calculated risk. Let's map the fallout. Brand deals, if anything, up. Both have strong, loyal cores. Controversy spikes reach, and reach sells. Tabloids, already yawning because the picture is official. No lawsuit landmines, just clean coverage. Streaming numbers and social follows, expect a modest bump driven by curiosity more than stan conversion. The real shift is narrative power. They reclaimed it in one frame. Now, the pushback. The triangle narrative is fun, but it's also lazy. Real life rarely fits into neat shapes. Adults date, break up, and move on. The ex can be hurt, and also not the villain. The new couple can be genuine, and also camera ready. Two things can be true at the same time, but for the sake of our story, the villain is the noise, not the people. The villain is the lie that moving on must be a scandal. Still, fans can't help themselves. They're digging into whether Zara and Louis synced their posts on purpose for maximum impact. They're analyzing the outfit repeats and reflected lenses to pin the location. They're decoding the 3-word comment he left under her post and arguing over whether it says more than it says. This is forensic fandom, and it's part of the sport now. What about family? That's huge with Louis. Fans clocked the sibling follows, the birthday shout, the casual soft approvals. That matters because it signals stability. With Zara, her team is tight and protective, especially around her documentary work. If this romance had drama vibes behind the scenes, trust me, the tone would be very different on her channels. It isn't. That speaks volumes. We also need to talk about the PR relationship accusation that gets thrown at every high-profile couple. Here's the reality. If it were just PR, you wouldn't see relaxed, unguarded moments slipping into the feed. You'd get brand-perfect frames with rollout schedules and hush-hush sources doing the talking. Instead, we got a kiss selfie with sunglasses and a heart emoji. That's not glossy. That's personal. Now, let's address the elephant. Did the ex know before it went live? Smart money says yes. People talk. Friend groups talk. A heads up doesn't stop the sting, but it changes the fallout. Notice how the earliest public reactions were measured. Notice how the initial coverage stayed clean. That usually means conversations happened off camera. Adults doing adult things. So, where does the story go from here? Expect a few staged, unstaged moments. A low-key gig appearance, a charity event selfie, a behind-the-scenes clip that accidentally shows them together. Not overexposed, just enough to normalize the sight of them side by side so the conversation shifts from, are they? To, of course they are. That's how you diffuse a frenzy. And if you're hunting for red flags, remember this. The fastest way to ruin something new is to drag the past into every room. If the ex leans into I'm thriving content, this triangle flattens out in weeks. If he can't resist little darts, it feeds the beast, and we'll be right back here with charts and callouts and reaction videos. He chooses the arc of his own subplot. Let's give Zara some flowers. She's walked through public storms and came out sharper, with a brand built on more than bikinis and cliffhangers. She's shown she can hold a serious room, then turn around and deliver lifestyle content without whiplash. Planting this kiss on the grid wasn't a stunt, it was a statement. She gets to be serious and soft, advocate and lover, grown and playful. People contain multitudes. Louis, too. Fans who watched him weather every rumor and every reunion question know this. He's selective about what he shares. The fact that he let his face and that smile anchor the reveal tells you he's all in on the message. Happiness first, noise later. That's not clout chasing, that's choosing a lane. Will there be bumps? Obviously. Fandom borders are tense, and ex-adjacent ecosystems love drama like plants love sunlight. A single stray quote can turn into a week of content, but if the couple keeps doing what they did here, clean reveals, no messy subtweets, no petty back and forth, the outrage economy starves fast. Rage burns hot and short. Love endures if you don't feed the trolls. And remember the timeline. Rumors in spring, public sightings, soft overlaps. Then boom, confirmation. That's months of private before one day of public. That math matters. It says this wasn't rushed to steal a headline. It says they tested the real thing before they packaged it for the world. That's an adult timeline. That's a stable start. Here's your final twist. And it's not even that scandalous. The triangle label is good for views, but bad for real life. What we actually have is a couple stepping into the light and a public learning. Again, how to let people reinvent themselves. If the ex wants to be part of that mature narrative, he can. If not, he becomes background noise while the main story moves on without him. So, who's the hero? The woman who chose herself and posted the truth. Who's the villain? The rumor mill trying to turn a kiss into a war. The truth? Two people kissed, and the internet projected 1,000 stories onto one photo. Some are sweet, some are bitter, but the only story that really matters is the one they're writing together, on their own terms, with a heart emoji and a camera arm stretched just far enough to say, "We're here." And that's the part that will age well. Not the comments, not the triangles, not the gotchas. The part that lasts is the choice. Post, own, move forward. If you're rooting for drama, sorry. Grown love tends to be boring to trolls and beautiful to everyone else. If you're rooting for chaos, you'll get your clips. But if you're rooting for them, you already won. The kiss was the win. Final word. The ex doesn't need to lose for them to win. But if he keeps poking, he'll write himself into a story where he's the punchline. Villains always trip on their own shoelaces. Heroes don't have to fight. They just keep walking. Zara and Luis, they're walking, and the people screaming triangle from the sidelines, they'll get tired. The couple won't. Villain aimed to destroy the moment, but ultimately destroyed themselves.